This is the Dreamers Podcast, where dreamers share their stories to inspire you. Now, join host Joe Pardo as he interviews a dreamer who's living their dreams.
Welcome to the Dreamers Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Pardo, and today I am interviewing Diane Park, who is living her dreams by getting stronger and healthier. Welcome to the show, Diane.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Thanks for being here in the studio. Why don't we get started by giving some background about yourself?
Sure. I am 28. I am a single mom. I recently lost 100 pounds. Used to be 320 pounds, and now I'm currently down to 220. I work out a lot and try to be focused on what I do to be healthier and stronger.
That is an awful lot of weight to lose. How long did it take you to lose all that weight?
Probably about 4 years. Lost 70 pounds in the first year I tried and hit a few snags. Over the next few years, lost the remaining 30. Still have a few more pounds to go, but I'm working on it.
Oh, it's always a work in progress.
Always.
So what would you say inspires you?
Lots of little different things inspire me. When I first started The Biggest Loser, the TV show, that was a really big inspiration. I used to watch just about every episode. Seeing all the people lose weight, I was like, well, why can't I do that? I used to watch that show for motivation, and Jillian Michaels and Bob Harper, they always pushed me through my hard times. Now, recently, my 3-year-old daughter, she inspires me. She helps a lot. Keeps me running.
Do you think that she understands the struggle that you went through?
No, I don't really think. She never really saw me at my heaviest, so I don't think she really understands what I go through, but she sees that I try.
So how did your dream come about?
I basically just got tired of being overweight and being unhappy with myself, that I started making a change, and my sister was a big help in that. She got me signed up with the gym, and she used to go with me all the time, and she would push me when I was on the treadmill and told me when I can go harder, and she helped me a lot. And my family's a big help. You know, they're always very supportive of what I do, of my decisions.
So you kind of already answered the question of how your dream was received by your family. Was there any pushback at all?
The only pushback, I guess, would be is how addicted I got to the gym. I sometimes get blinded by the need to be at the gym that I let other things go, and my family puts me in my place every once in a while.
So what steps did you take to get started?
Small steps, really. I basically just started with the gym and, focused on moving regularly. And first I walked, then I increased my speed and I started running. Then I started taking classes where I lifted weights and some spin classes, which are horrible, but worth it at the end. Then I focused on what I ate and, just portion control. I measure just about everything I eat. Make sure I count my calories, even though I hate doing it.
So you recently ran your first 5K and you're planning on running a half marathon soon. Could you talk about the experience that you had leading up to the 5K?
Sure. Previously, before I even thought about paying people to run for money, can't believe I'm still doing that, my sister, for some reason, convinced me to run a half marathon with her, which I never thought I would do because it's 13.1 miles, which just seems crazy to me. But for some reason, after, through The Biggest Loser, they do all those half marathons and marathons all the time. So I can do that, sure. So I was training for it at the gym. Just reached 3 miles when this girl I know from the gym approached me. And she was like, so why are you running? I'm like, oh, training for a half marathon. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, my sister talked me into it. She's like, oh, you should do this 5K I'm organizing. I'm like, okay. So really nervous about that because I don't really enjoy running outside, but she's like, I thought it'd be good practice. So 2 weeks later, the 5K was supposed to be, so I was like, I really got to focus running at the gym now. So when the 5K started, I was extremely nervous. I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to finish it because I've never run outside for any period of length of time. But I was able to do it. I pushed myself through it. I ran it in 31:43, so I thought that was pretty impressive. There's only about a group of 50 people that ran it, but I was first in my age. I was pretty excited about that. So now that that's over, now I really got to focus on running this half marathon, and I have, I finally went up to 4 miles. I just only got 9 to go. But small steps. I push myself. I try to run a mile extra each week. Try to build my strength up.
Well, with half marathons, I mean, once you get to about 10 miles, you're fine.
Yeah, I still got that extra 3 miles to go. That's basically the way I thought about it when I was doing the 5K. I was like, as soon as I get halfway there, I'm almost done. Just got to keep pushing myself. But that's pretty exciting. My mom actually brought my little one to see me race my first 5K, and she was there at the end, which was really exciting because she apparently saw me way before my mom did, and she's like, "Here comes Mommy." And I was running to her, and it just made it all much better because I was able to see her at the end.
That's great. Do you plan on running any more 5Ks between now and then?
Yeah. Well, we're doing the color run, which is another 5K, but we're doing it in a big group, so I don't know if we're going to be running the whole thing. So I don't think I would really count that as running a 5K because I was told most people walk it anyway. Other than that, no. I'm probably just going to save up and just focus on the half marathon.
Yeah, races can definitely get expensive.
Yes, they can. Like I said, I could never imagine myself paying somebody to let me run.
Yeah, I pay for Disney runs, so they got my number.
Yeah.
So when you got started running and working out and trying to live a healthier lifestyle, what roadblocks did you hit?
A lot of mental blocks, mostly. A lot of negativity in my own head, telling myself that I couldn't do it, that I wasn't strong enough, that I was being judged at the gym because I was so heavy. All in my head I was thinking, people would be like, "Oh, look at her, she's so heavy and she's trying to run on the treadmill." I still have that thought sometimes because, I'm still not a skinny girl, but, you just got to focus on this is for me and not for anybody else, and I don't really care what other people say or think. It's a very mental thing trying to lose weight. You have to be able to focus on you and tell yourself that you're stronger and that you're capable of doing it, and that it's just in your head that you can't. I battle every time I'm running on the treadmill. I'm like, I can't do this, and I'm like, yes I can. 2 seconds later, it's like, why am I doing this? I can't do this. And then it's like, yes, you can. You're stronger. You can do this. And music actually helps me a lot. I have to focus on the music. Otherwise, I'm just at a loss for everything. I know a couple times when I've left my iPod at home, I'm like, oh, now I'm screwed because now I can't focus on anything but running. And I just wasn't able to pull it through. But it's very mental. I
know when I run, I have to have music generally because I don't like to hear myself breathe, which is very bad for my ears. But what music do you listen to when you run to help focus? My music taste actually varies quite a bit, especially when I'm running. A couple of things like Christina Aguilera, Fighter, that's a very big motivator for me. Some Britney Spears, she has some good beats that I like to run to. 3 Days Grace, I like to run to. Breaking Benjamin has a good song that I like to when I run. Eminem, it's all very, very out there. Disturbed, I like to listen to Disturbed too. But as long as it has a good beat and it makes me feel like I need to run faster. Oh, Metallica, Fuel, that's a really good one. That helps me going. Yeah, it's very varied. Well, having a big music palette helps. I've heard that from other people that they'll listen to music that they wouldn't normally listen to when they run. They wouldn't normally listen to it when they do anything else in their life. So how did you overcome a lot of these roadblocks, these mental roadblocks? You said that you would, you tell yourself that you can do it, and that's awesome. Could you go deeper into how you overcome these types of problems? I had to focus on what I felt was worth it for me. As soon as I started losing the weight and how I felt, I looked in the mirror with how trying on clothes and being, as soon as I started dropping sizes and I was able to go into stores that didn't have plus size clothes, because all throughout my life, especially growing up in high school, I was always in the plus size stores, 20 plus, and that always was a big struggle for me, especially clothes shopping. I always hated it. So, as soon as I started dropping those sizes and getting into the smaller sizes, that was a really great feeling. And looking into the mirror, and finally it's like, okay, I'm starting to like how I feel, how I look. Focusing on that instead of the negative things has really helped me push forward through my hard times. I stumble a lot. There are many days where I have trouble focusing on my healthy eating, but
you only truly fail if you give up. So my goal is to never give up and to keep pushing forward. So if I have one bad day, I can't let myself be beat up over it. I just have to okay, I had a bad day. I have to have a better day tomorrow. So I get back to the gym and I focus on measuring and portioning and all the things that you're supposed to do. Just making sure I feel good on the inside, because that's what matters.
So what kind of problems did you have with the mental image of yourself when you would look in the mirror and you were no longer the 300-pound person?
Recently happened to me back in September when I was at the gym. They have a class with a mirror, and I was lifting weights, and I looked at myself, and I'm like, who is that? I looked again, I'm like, oh crap, that's me. I'm like, that can't be me. I'm like, yeah, it is. And I'm just so used to seeing that 300 plus person that you have in your mind, that what you're already supposed to look like in the mirror. You gotta take time to actually look at yourself and evaluate. I'm like, oh, that really is me now. And it's such a big difference that even when I look back at pictures, I'm like, who is that? You don't realize how big you get when you're 300 pounds. Most people wonder, how does a person become that big? How they let themselves get that way? I'm like, you don't realize it. You don't see yourself as that big. It sneaks up on you. It really does, because you keep seeing yourself as the person you saw before. Even if it was from big to little to big, you always see yourself as that one person until you actually do that big change and you see yourself for the first time and you're no longer that 300 plus person. You didn't realize how big you got or had gotten. It's a big struggle. Even now, there are days where I feel like I still look 320 pounds. There are days where I can't see my past, where we're constantly living in my past. And I have to refocus, and I have to tell myself, you're not there anymore. You're not the same person. You are stronger, better, and you are healthier. I don't know. It's the hardest decision I've made, was to lose the weight. That was for sure. Still hard.
Well, great things don't come easy, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Great things take time and definitely have to work for them.
So speaking of working on them, is there any parts of your dream that haven't quite worked out yet?
Definitely haven't reached my goal yet, which is something I'm still working on, but hopefully I'll have it done in a year. Trying to get myself refocused on losing the weight. There was a period of time where I wasn't as focused on it. I was still going to the gym, but I wasn't really as careful about what I was eating. You think yourself, oh, I just worked out, so I can have a little bit here. But you really can't, because then you just kind of wiped away everything you just worked for at the gym. I worked out, I'm going to have a really good day. So having that mental thing to look forward to is what I have to refocus on. So as soon as I hit my goal, then I'll be happy.
So if you were stranded on a deserted island with your family, what 3 things would you want to have with you?
Tools so I can make a boat, food so I wouldn't starve, and music so I wouldn't get bored.
Not a bad list. Not a bad list at all. Very practical list.
I try.
So what do your dreams for the future look like?
Definitely hit my goal with my weight loss, to get stronger every day, and to finish college, which I recently just went back to, and to maybe one day open my own bakery.
It's tough to stay fit and healthy when you own a bakery.
Yes, trust me. It's one of my favorite things to do is to bake, and it does not coincide with trying to be fit. But it's something I love to do, so I had to make it all work.
So do you have any last thoughts you'd like to share?
It doesn't matter where you are in life, what you are in life. If you believe in yourself, that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else says or what they do, but you need to focus on you and do what makes you happy. Because as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Very well put. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, Diane. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely like to have you back in the next 6 months to a year and see how you're doing.
Absolutely.
Or how about you come back on the show after your half marathon?
That sounds like a deal.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Dreamers Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Dreamers Podcast. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/Dreamers Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Dreamers Podcast, please send an email to j@jpar.co. This podcast is copyright 2014 by jpar.co.